And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
This guy's leadership is so important to how this offense functions. He doesn't shrink from any moments on game day, and everything he does with confidence. He sets the example in practice, off the field, and is the guy leading everyone out for each possession.
He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
2nd and 9. Warren will try the right side. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. A short one there to Freiermuth. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. A gain of 4, not enough, and it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stopped him short.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. So holding on the return, and that's going to back him up to start the drive.
He was trying to get the job done correctly, just trying to clear a little space for his returner. Ended up getting a little too much jersey and hooked the guy, hence the flag.
A very costly holding penalty. It backs them up all the way inside their 10 to start this drive. Here's Stroud. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Now 2nd and 3. Throwing now is Stroud. That's going to be caught by Kirk. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Big conversion. They were backed up deep to start the drive, able to pick up the first.
So the goal is at least a first down here, right? Pick up a first down, give yourself some breathing room, and if you have to punt after that, maybe you've helped with field position and you've helped out your defense.
And avoided a 3 and out on their opening drive. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on first down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he'll get a couple up to the 29. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On third down, it's Nick Chubb. And Chubb fighting, but nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped short of that first down marker. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
The Texans send the punter out. Deep to return is Calvin Austin. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And they will take over first and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
Second and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
This defense has passed its first two tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on third down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up third and 10. Now Rodgers. Forced out to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's fourth.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. Gets past one man. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Texans will take over. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. The last series form a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, first and 10. From the 34 now, here's first and 10. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 42-yard line. And again, it's Chubb. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And Chubb will try the middle here. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Stroud to throw it. Oh, fires this one downfield for Chubb. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. That'll go for a gain of 7. And 3rd and 1 now.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Here's Rodgers. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Rodgers now to throw. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. The first catch of the ball game there for Metcalf. And a first down to boot.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
On the run, it's Warren. He'll get this up to the 47 and brought down there.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Rodgers going to throw. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Play action. Stroud now. They're looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that play there was certainly a scouting report special because coverage was all too aware that this close to the end zone, he's going to become a bigger weapon for that offense, and they were there to help force the incompletion.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
But they certainly not shied away from throwing the football as they've leaned on their quarterback to start this game. 4 straight passes right out of the gate, with that last one earning them a new set of downs.
1st and goal at the 1. Now Rodgers. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Warren. Looking for a signal, but none forthcoming. They stopped him shy of the goal line. He tried to get the nose of the football across to no avail, and now it's 3rd and goal. Having trouble here from the 1. Couldn't pass it in, couldn't run it in. Now what?
I'm going to channel old school coaches right now. We're just rolling up our sleeves. I'm yelling at my guys, go get it. You're at the 1-yard line. Let's get a...
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Aaron Rodgers taking it in from a yard out. And the Steelers use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Stroud looking to throw. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. He's going to drop this one down for Chubb. And he is going to have a Texans first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. As they've got it as we resume action. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
Stroud off the play fake. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Well, I could spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Now Chubb running right. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And the Steelers set to take the field. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
They'll start on the ground here on first down to the 22-yard line.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Rodgers. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And the Steelers on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Woods. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
From the 43, here's 2nd and a yard. And again, it's Rodgers. That's caught. It's Austin left side. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Throwing is Rodgers. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Throwing now is Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Houston set to take over. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Here's Stroud. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So the big gain, all for naught for the offense. That yellow flag is going to bring it back.
Oh, what a tough look for the offense because they see all that yardage lost and that ball's walked back and then some behind the original line of scrimmage.
4 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And Stroud now to throw. Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. It's caught inside the 25. A huge play there for Houston. 49 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go up the middle with Chubb. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 42 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Now Stroud. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Christian Kirk, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans are an extra point away from evening this one up. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Now Rodgers. His throw incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. They try the left side with Johnson. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
A handoff for Warren. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
He finds Austin complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 30. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Now a 2nd and 10. On the give, it's Warren. And he's going to be close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Texans' 22. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And the Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Here's Warren. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Here's Rodgers. Slant route, and he's got Freiermuth. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Rodgers now to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them at the end zone as the first half winds down.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Rodgers going to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Jalen Warren, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers have taken the lead. Extra point now by Boswell. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now out comes Houston. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, and they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
That would complete downfield to Kirk. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 39 yards there, a big one.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Stroud to throw it. And that went to the right side and incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Stroud. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Here now a 3rd and 20. Throwing now is Stroud. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Here's Tommy Townsend now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. The Steelers taking over now late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Here's Rodgers to throw. That's down the field and caught by Freiermuth. Look at the big fella go. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Calvin Austin, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they're able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff. But, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and it's now 21-7. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays, the long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Christian Kirk and company heading back onto the field. He's done his part, but so far it's been in a losing effort, so they've got to fix something.
But that doesn't mean changing anything, the way they're throwing the ball around and his catches and production. Keep doing that. They're going to have to fix some things likely on defense to try and slow down their opponents.
But so far he's north of 100 yards receiving. Stroud looking to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Higgins. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Second down and a yard. Back to throw. Stroud. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Stroud out of the gun here. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Final play of the half. Stroud throwing middle, but it's incomplete. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break. But I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
Okay, Coach. Thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Texans offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
So he nearly took it the distance, gets him down inside the 10 for a first and goal.
I'd love to be in his head right now, because is he rewarding himself for a great run, or is he kicking himself because he didn't get all the way to the goal line?
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And it's caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Joe Mixon from 6 yards away. And the Texans come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. Hardly any time taken off the clock there. 2 plays, and they find the end zone for 6 points. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Steelers offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change. Because otherwise, that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Sheldon Rankins abruptly ends that play with a sack.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now a run with Warren. And he'll get about 3 up close to the 35. They need 12 here. It's 3rd down. Now Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Warren. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. The home team's offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
They give to Chubb out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. 9 yards on the carry there, but it'll be 4th down now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on for the 5th time here today. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
This is 2nd and 8. To throw is Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 40 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right, they need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 42-yard line. Running left, it's Warren. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Looking to throw. Rodgers. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers. Throw out wide is incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And the lead works its way up to 10, 24-14. So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. The home team's offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he's been the focal point of this offense. And when you get a performance like this, you can almost invariably add that the offensive line play has also been stellar. And that's definitely been the case here. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. From the 35, here's a 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Stroud. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On 3rd down, Mixon. And he'll get nothing out of that one. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Certainly understand what they're doing there. 3rd and long draw play, but it did not work out.
And you can certainly hear the thought process, too. People are thinking, why are you running it there? You've got to throw the football. But sometimes you catch the defense napping. You take a little bit of a chance there. It just didn't work in this case.
The Texans send the punter out as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Try to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. A short one there to Freiermuth. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. Rodgers. And here's Freiermuth again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Now 2nd and 5. They'll run it. Warren. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 49 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Throwing is Rodgers. Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Throwing now is Rodgers. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas. Back to throw again. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. Warren will try the right side. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And the former Rice Al Boswell puts this one through in his return to Houston. And that will extend their lead even further. So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Texans back out there and ready to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
He'll let this go deep for Collins. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Houston. Nico Collins, 72 yards. And the Texans have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Steelers offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
2nd down and 8. Back to throw. Rodgers got his man. It's Warren. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
They'll run on first down. Warren. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Nice chunky yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Looking to throw. Rodgers. He finds his man. Complete. That's Warren. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Johnson running left. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 67 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. From the 3, 2nd and a yard. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
And they visited the end zone frequently in this one, and obviously they wanted another one. But give credit to the defense there. They may not make the comeback, but pride showed. Good sack on that play.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third. Now Rodgers. Oh, no, he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Bad place to fumble down here in the red zone. At least they got it. They'll have another shot. Or no, they won't have another shot. It's going to be fourth down. Maybe they can at least salvage 3.
And they were thinking 6 points because at this position of the field, it's go time, right? You take your shots at the end zone. They weren't able to do that one. So you look over at the sideline. There's the head coach saying, oh, heck, kick it. Field goal time.
And the former Rice Al Boswell puts this one through in his return to Houston. And that will make this a 9-point lead. So that's, CD, an important one here in the fourth quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. Now Stroud. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks. And they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? He'll get this down to the 48-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's 2nd and 7. And Stroud now to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 35. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Here goes Stroud again. Open man is Higgins. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here's Stroud. And that will be incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. On the left hash, this from 48 yards. Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that'll move him back within 6 now. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Second and 7. To throw, it's Rodgers. Complete to Austin here over the middle. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
A short one there to Freiermuth. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. On the run, it's Warren. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Warren. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. Up the middle they go. It's Warren. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they will take a knee here. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. And the kick is good, so you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet, but until then, this game's over. Well, things started off exciting. This one had a high-scoring first half, and nobody let their foot off the gas in the second half either, Charles. And, for them, a really nice victory in a high-scoring output.
You're right about that because so many times we'll see teams come out slow and take a while to get going, and points become a little bit harder to score near the end of games, as we know, because everyone tightens down. But no such issues in this game. The scoring started right away and held up at a steady clip the remainder of the game.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. So long from Houston.